edition of Market Marauders, beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders, an investment channel helps you find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, like, comment, and share. Now, without further ado, fresh off the press, the new stimulus proposal by the Republican Party is out. It is titled the HEALS Act. HEALS Act. Now, no, been waiting on it for a while, so let's jump into it and see, what all they proposed and the things that they are proposing opposed to what the Democrats were proposing. Now, it says the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell released the Republican version of the second round of stimulus bill, calling for health, economic assistance, liability protection, and schools. So that's what the HEALS and HEALS stands for. Act while laying out the version for the aid as Congress works to support the act home and strengthen the economy as coronavirus cases, unemployment rises. So it says part of the proposed bill will look familiar to those who received the March CARES Act. It says others will lead significant negotiations with Democrats as well as with other Republicans. So total cost of proposed bill is $1 trillion, which is $2 trillion less than the stimulus bill and the HEROES Act, passed by the House of Representatives in May. It includes many protections that the country received in March. Upon the initial passing, CARES Act includes stimulus checks, but it also leaves out some protections the Democrats sought in the HEROES Act. So this is going over some of the high points. So basically another round of the $1,200 stimulus check to the same group of taxpayers. So, it's kind of an easy transition. So, if you got it last time, you'll basically get it this time, the same amount. Income limit for full, so the 1,200 stimulus check are 75,000 for individuals, 150,000 for families. Proposed $500 additional check for each dependent in the family, which is the same level as the CARES Act. It reduces the unemployment benefits, capping them at $200 a week from the $600 a week level that the unemployment received under the CARES Act at the end of September. This benefit would switch to providing 70% of wages prior to losing one's job. It does not provide additional aid to state and municipalities. Sorry, butcher that word. That have lost millions and billions during the pandemic. Proposal on the table, House and Senate leaders, both parties, in order to come to a complete bill passed by Congress. So basically, that's just a synopsis of what the bill is. And it's basically, the same as the one before, but they're going to lower the unemployment amount, but they also want to have some liability protection and money for schools as well. And the health department. So, jumping into another article, this is also by Forbes as well. Second proposal details, size of second check. So it says plan call for direct payment of $1,200 for eligible single filers and $2,400 for joint filers, the same as the CARES. CARES Act provide $500 for eligible dependents, and new HEALS Act proposals provide $500 for dependents. So same as the last one. That talks about the income eligibility, but if we look at the S&P 500, just going and looking at it briefly from where it ended today, it's kind of going up on the 5-day. It's still low compared to where it was. 5 days ago it went down. To me, it was just basically because they're waiting on the Republican Party to actually, announce this their proposal. But I think it's gonna, go up now that the proposal is there, and there's still, in my opinion, some underlining issues that need to be solved that I don't think this plan is really solving. So just hear me out on this one. Um, So I have three major problems that I think, why it took them so long to come up with the proposal, because it's a difficult situation. Everyone's situation is different. People's families were affected in different ways, so it's not, a one thing fix all. But major problems that I see are the American debt crisis. So that would be student loans, credit card debts, people living paycheck to paycheck, and then this whole pandemic situation happening and then just hitting people. Those debts are still there. And then the renters crisis, that's a large one. And then back to work slash back to the way of life. So back to work to me basically is like the main problem that I saw with the last CARES Act was people just didn't want to go back to work because you were getting more money, pay to you for not going to work than going to work. So then, how in turn do you go and convince those same sets of people to go to work if they were getting paid more not working than actually working? Now, it's no fault to those people. I'm not saying, any negative thing towards them, but, you know, by all means, some people took advantage of that, the full advantage of that, when I think it was there, to just help people out. Um, But those are things. You see states like Florida opening back up, and the numbers spike. We still don't have a vaccine yet, so the only thing you can do to counteract those measures is just more testing, and I think that's where that health section comes in. Also, one item I forgot to put on here is schools as well. People have been out of school for a long time, and transitioning back to what school will be. It's a very complicated issue all the way around, and I can see why. Even though the Republican Party has gotten a lot of slack for it, I can see why it took a while for them to try to figure out um, a reasonable answer to this solution. So they're kind of two opposing forces here, in my opinion. I think, there's capitalism and then there's socialism. So, socialism, people frown upon it like, oh, we want to give everybody everything. We want to give people money and, everybody should have equality. Then there's capitalism. Uh, both have good points and bad points. But capitalism, you know, help the corporations, bail out some of the corporations so they can provide more jobs to people, so that they can have a comfortable stating a life. So you'll have a job, you have 401k, things of that nature. Way people can pay bills. So they're I think it's hard to find a line between the two as far as that is concerned. But in my personal opinion, I don't think these stimulus checks are really going to help out too much. If we go, I'm a numbers person, so if we just go at the fair market rent for a one-bedroom apartment in California, it's $1,140. Now, stimulus check, if you're a single person, you're living in a one-bedroom apartment, not a studio, a one-bedroom apartment, you basically, and you lost your job around March or April, you're 2 months behind. You're basically not going to be that stimulus check's not going to help you at all. Even if you had the um, studio efficiency apartment, and you're behind 2 months, that's not going to help you at all. Um, if we go to New York, another place that has high um, rent, we can see on here it says $886 for a one bedroom, $806 for a studio, for fair market rent for 2020. So you're still paying a lot of money, and if you're still 2 months behind, a 1,200 is not gonna go directly towards that. You're not gonna be able to pay all of that off. Especially if you're 3 months behind on rent. If you go to Georgia, the numbers get lower based on where you're at. But even if we scroll down in the metropolitan areas, it's still really expensive. So you have this county right here, $996. I mean, $996 is fair market value. What about those people? What about those people who live in those apartments? In metropolitan areas, who've been laid off, restaurant workers or whatever job they had where it wasn't deemed essential, you know, this stimulus check really isn't helping them because it's not, state based. So it's not, they're not saying, we're going to give you a lot of money based on your situation of living or the state you live in to compensate for that. It's just a flat fee. So I think there's still some hurdles to overcome as far as the stimulus is concerned. I think there's good headway being made that the Republican Party actually came up to a concern or came up with the bill. I think um, having the liability portion as well is definitely good in my personal opinion because you don't want to have um, this can get out of hand really quickly in my opinion, especially if you know places or small businesses or any business really is starting to open back up and somebody come in and say, oh, you didn't provide me with the mask, so I'm going to sue you, you know, and then you have a company or small businesses, going out of business because of stuff like that. Um, Definitely don't want to see that happen. So, liability protection, in my opinion, is a really important thing, and I'm glad that they put that into the Hills Act because you got to think, kind of the socialist side of things. You want everybody to have everything um, that they need. So, I mean, if somebody needs a mask, you know, the company should provide it, but I don't think the company should be sued if they don't have a mask to give you. Um, and rules like that there be in place, but people will find a way, to go around the rules and try to abuse them, kind of ruin it for a lot of other people. So that's just my opinion on that. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of the Hills Act. Do you think it's going to help? Do you think it's going to hinder? Do you think there should be more stimulus? Do you think that there should be less stimulus? Um, and tell me if these videos are helping you. Make sure that thumbs up help the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.